Why hello, and thanks for joining me in today's video. It was requested from a past video that I showcase my alerts panel, so that's what I plan to do. Now if you see something you have questions about, be sure to leave a comment and I'll either respond to it or it might even become the topic of my next video. Just so you know, you can call me Zoofy, Zuffy, Zoofy, or Zoof, and this is Zoofology. Alright, so let's take a look at our alert panel. You've got mail. We'll just go ahead and start off with that one. We'll just have to make our way down to my mailbox. So I actually have it hooked up with a checker, inventory checker, which I'll have to show you that later. But we got a package, it looks like. So let's open it up. Dear Past Me, by Zoofy. Alright, this should be interesting. Dear Zoofy from the past, you smell. P.S. Shower more. That's fair. Alright, it looks like we have another Omega statue ready. So, I guess that means we can just head right downstairs. And... nice! Alright, so what's next? Fortune time. Probably my favorite, but also because I just set this up. It took me a long time to make. And here you can see all of the ores that I have stockpiled just for this. Let's start it up. So it's going to place 64 of each ore, or of one specific type, so you can just vein mine it easily. And it's going to go through all of them. It starts with the more common ones, but eventually it'll get to the pog ores, and whenever it gets to those, it actually goes by color to kind of be somewhat of a gradient, if that makes sense. You'll see when we get there. Oh, look at him, he's so lonely. Ooh, it's time for the pog ores. Time for the yellows and the oranges. Now for the pinks. And it all ends with Bogmagnite because you can't really match it with anything. I've only got one word. Beef. On the outside of this pin is a sensor. That sensor checks if there are more than 20 cows in this pin. If there are, that's what lets me know that it's slaughtering time. Okay, so when it comes to gifters, I often forget to do anything with them. So I have this set up to kind of remind me to at least put them into my automated gifter system. Just going to take a whole bunch here and just throw them into this, which is going to filter to the system. Just in time to see it placing all the new gifters we got. I have it just doing the big ones for now. But I do mean to kind of make a adjustment video to my last gifter. Because one, the audio was bad, and two, just there were some... I changed the design because there were some complications with it. Oh, it's going through a flush. It does that to make sure that well, I don't remember why I did it, but I'm pretty sure it's just because it can, all the gifters can kind of give off their stuff at the same time. So if I have like 40 gifters, all 40 will kind of be going at the same time. So every 10 minutes there'll be a gifter flush. All right, let's head back up. Okay, so now to see how this works. We have a detector from Refined Storage. There's other ways of doing it as well. That is detecting if the gifter is at more than 19. And if it is, then it's going to send a redstone signal to this transmitter that's next to it. And this transmitter sends to the screen. So it now wants me to clear the importer. I'm not going to end up doing that right now because there's a lot of gear in it. And that would take forever to roll. I don't feel like doing it. But just know that if all of this gear was out of this, or any of these inventories over here, then the redstone signal would no longer be sending to the screen, and Clear Importer would be gone. And if you are wondering how I went about doing that, this controller right here has a lot of logic options. So, let's find one of these sensors that are... Okay, so it's looking at these 3 storages right here. And if it recognizes there's an item, one singular or more than one item in any of these 3 storages, any of them are going to send... Let me find it again, sorry. One of them are going to send on the red burgundy channel. So that burgundy channel gets picked up right here. So this is a transmitter. It's going to send a redstone signal into this transmitter connected to it at a power of 15 anytime that the burgundy color is active. So we can see where that is. This one right here. You can see that this connector is going to send into it anytime there's one item in any 3 of those. And that's how you get the Clear Importer message. So to start off, I'm going to show you how to set up a screen. So you're going to place down the screen. As of right now, nothing shows. I just installed a text module. Nothing happens. That's because you need a screen controller. And you need to scan for every screen that you add. It does need a little bit of power. And for the most part, you only need one if you have the Screen Plus modules, because they have infinite range. But these things do have a range. I don't know exactly what that is. So now we need to get some text. Hello. So it's very small, as you see. You can brighten it up. That makes it a lot easier to read. But also, you can set it to large. Hello. Center, right, all that good stuff. Set the screen text is pretty straightforward. You can add a whole bunch more. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. You can set them to large, of course. Yeah, so that's how you would set up your basic screen. And of course, another thing that you can do is make it transparent. And if you keep right-clicking with the wrench, then you'll change the size, then make it transparent, change the size, then make it transparent. And it can go up to a 3x3 max. You can also change the color on the text. So I'll go over my energy module next. All I have to do is make the module, find whatever my base storage is. For me, it's a dimensional cell connected to all my other ones. And now I just reinstall it to here, and it will now show me between a few things. It can show me RF a tick, which it is right now. It can show me a percentage of its total. And it can even show me this flat amount of RF. So here I will show you the button screen module right here. It's quite simple to use. I already have a redstone lamp down. I'm going to set a receiver into the lamp, and now I'm going to bind the module to the same channel. And now you can just, it's not set to toggle. There we go. It's set to toggle now. Perfect. And you can even come in here and create a label. And this is going to go on the side of it, side of the button, if you like that look. And you can create, or you can put the label on the button. I'll show you with it. Turn on light. Well, yeah, it doesn't show very long. Here we go. Yeah, turn on light, just like that. Oh, elevator blocks. So that works. So next up we have this redstone screen module, which basically can tell you if a redstone signal is active or if it's not active, and you can actually use custom messages for either. So here we have a lever into redstone into a transmitter. Now the redstone isn't necessary, that's just to show you that it is getting a signal. You would just put the lever directly behind the transmitter. So you're going to want to bind the screen module. Now add it to the screen, and as you can see, it's on or off, and it can show that wirelessly across dimensions, of course. You can come in here and give it a custom text dependent upon if it's on or off. Of course, caps lock. I can't type apparently. Okay, it's off now, I promise. Alright, farm on, we're going to set to green, and farm off, we can set to red. Alright, so as you can see, it does actually change depending on the signal, and you could actually remove farm off completely if you want to, and that'll just make it so that it shows nothing when it's off, which could be nice. That's how I have mine set up. So while you are in the menu, the order of the modules does matter. Notice whenever I bring it all the way down, nothing changed. However, if I put a whole bunch of text in front of it, then it does actually leave blank space. So that's one way to kind of center a module, is by putting a lot of empty text in front of it, or ahead of it. Alright, so next up, we want to show the inventory checker. So you're going to grab a chest, place it down, then the inventory checker, and you're going to have it pointing into the redstone transmitter. And that transmitter is already linked to this screen. Now, let's take a look at our checker. So if it gets 5 or more smoothstone, then it will send a signal. So let's go ahead and put 4 in here. Nothing. Let's put the 5th. Bam, sent a redstone signal. And anything above 5. So, next you can even, if you want to, so this is slot 0, this is slot 1. So if we required it to be slot 1, nothing, but I move it over 1 slot. There we go, signal. Let's take a look at the sensor. So it's going to be sensing from this direction and outputting in this direction. And it is currently in a block of area 1. And we're going to set it to 1, has to match. So I placed that. Oh, wow, I missed. Okay, I placed it right there. There we go. And it's in a 1x1. So it doesn't work on anything outside of that. Let's do a area 3. Notice it's not a 3x3. It is 3 behind it. Or any of these 3 blocks. Right there. And it does have to specifically be smoothstone if you put smoothstone there. So now if I put normal stone, nothing. But smoothstone? Yes. Okay, so we got blocks, and you can do area 5, that's 5 behind it. Area of 3x3. Any of those work. Area of 5x5. So that works out there, and an area of 7x7. And you can even set it up so that all of them must match. So once again, thanks for checking out the video. If you liked it, let me know in the comments, and if there's something else you'd like to see, just hit me up.